Hey, and welcome to episode 20, Property Mastermind podcast with Hilary, Saxton. This week, talking about the 4 essentials you need to do to get into property development. I'm going to cover off, if you want to get started, or if you have started and you're not going fast enough, what you need to be doing. See you in there. Hey, and welcome to episode 20, the 4 essentials to property development success, I suppose we'd say. First of all, giving away the book, Secrets of Property Millionaires Exposed. Bob is one of the people in the book. So if you're interested in, I was holding that up for people that are listening, if you're interested in receiving a free copy of this book, all you need to do is email me, hilary@propertymastermind.com.au. That's Hilary with 1 L. And you'll go in the draw to win one. Remember to like and share our podcast. If you're liking it, or if you're watching on YouTube, if you want to check us out, give us a comment. And if you're not liking it, please let us know via email. And also you can listen to us on Apple and Spotify. Anyway, how can you be successful in property development? What are the 4 things that you need to do? Well, first of all, you need to get an education. And you can't Google an education, and you can't, you can Google bits of an education, but you need to get a proper education, because you're dealing with money. And if you listen to the last episode, we talked about creative strategies, and you might be dealing with your money and or other people's money. But, we work hard for our money, and we don't want to waste it, and we don't want to waste other people's. So going into property development, knowing what you're doing will definitely help you with that. And now, where do you go to get a property development education? And there are, numerous out there. I talk to people, obviously one-on-one, and people have done more than one course often. They always say that ours is the best. So propertymastermind.com.au, check out Bob's. He's pretty amazing. He's been teaching for a long time, and he is just a wealth of knowledge. But he has a great way of really getting the information across. But where I was going with that was, I was speaking to somebody 2 weeks ago who sort of came in out of the blue, wanted to have a chat with me about the courses, and they said that they had done a recent online course from somebody, and it was it cost $799, and it was X amount of weeks or something. And like Bob said, price is what you pay and value is what you get. I suppose learning about property development from somebody who hasn't done a lot, they don't know so many of the pitfalls or the errors that you can make. And that's probably one of the things that experience gives you. So you're going with someone who's got a lot of experience in more than one state, who understands, the importance or all of the requirements in each state. Because what you might find, even if you start developing, especially now with COVID, a lot of people are in other states and developing up in Queensland. We've found it's quite normal for people to be working out of state and working up here, not just because we aren't stopping or having the work stoppages. I think just the price as well has sort of made it a bit more achievable for a lot of people. So getting an education from somebody who's got a lot of experience is vital. And I think the other thing with our course, and I'm sure there are other good courses out there, not quite as good, I'm sorry, but what I'm saying is Bob's course, definitely, he's taken thousands of people through it. And if you're on many social media platforms, many of the people, the majority of the people, and maybe that's just because the platforms I'm on, that I see who are successful have gone through the Property Mastermind course. So number one, it is vital you get an education. You can't just Google the things you know. And even if you do Google something, very often it could be just a blog you're reading. I could have written that blog, and it could be on, if I give any gardening advice, do not take it. But just because it's on the internet doesn't make it true. And that's sort of a little bit of a hole that I sort of do see with the internet. I have a girlfriend staying on the weekend, and she was talking about some sort of supplement or multivitamin or something. And she said, I'd Google it. She said, I'll just Google it. And I was like, I probably wouldn't be just looking at everything you read on the internet as being true. So rule number one, definitely get an education, and make sure it's from somebody credible who knows what they're doing. Maybe even read some reviews. That's a good way to sort of get some ideas, or get an idea whether the education that you're getting is good. And also maybe what sort of support they offer, or what sort of support you need. Some courses, they expire. Can you still have access? Can you, contact people? There's also, what goes on from the course that you're doing or the membership that is useful to you. The next number 2 would be you need a level of commitment. So a lot of people do courses, and I alluded to this a couple of weeks ago on a podcast. I did a creative writing course. Well, I purchased it and I never did it. But you have to commit. When you decide that you want to be a property developer, you actually need to start taking the actions to be a property developer. You can't just think, I really want to be one, and do nothing about it. So you've either purchased an online education, or you've, like in our case, got the bundle, you're coming to a workshop as well, whatever. But you need to commit after you've done the education. We'll need to commit to doing it, but you need to commit to going through with it, because it is a highly lucrative business, and it's great. It's a great industry to be in, property right now. Wow, amazing. But you can't just stop, or maybe you've done some property development and you're just a bit scared to get back in. You need to have that level of self-belief that you can. Of course, I covered that a couple of podcasts ago, that level of self-belief, so you do keep taking action to do what it is that you want. And to go along with that commitment, the number one thing that really helps that you have to do is just create a plan. I'm all about goal setting. So when you create a plan, like, it's an intention of your future. So what is your future intention when it comes to property development? And maybe you're one of these people that can't look 10 years ahead or 5 years ahead, and that's okay. You've got to work with how you like to work. But maybe it's within 2 years, I want to have done that. And just ensure that you start working toward it. Not, I want to do a property development, because that's not enough. When you say, I want to do a property development, without having a clear plan, your brain does not know where to go or what to do first. So by narrowing it down to perhaps, I want to have completed X within 2 years, 1 year, if it's a split or whatever it is that you choose to do, however long that takes, give yourself that barrier, that plan. So then you know what you're looking for. Then you know what you need to be doing. That will help with your level of self-belief, because then your brain, you know what you need to be doing. The next thing I would say from there, if you're not moving in your journey, if you're not doing what you want to do, then I would 100% hire a coach. If you're not moving forward, that is your answer. I can take this outside of property for myself, because I am moving forward on my property journey, but it was a couple of years ago. I wanted to finish the book I was writing. I wanted to start this podcast. There were some things that I wasn't heading toward. I hadn't given it a clear enough plan. And I just rang up a coach that I knew down in Sydney and said, can you coach me, please? And she's like, yeah, sure. And I said, I'm prepared to pay this month. I just offered her more than she was used to. I gave her what I wanted, because working as a coach, and no, I know what I need, so I knew what I was after. And I said, can I, talk to you immediately? Can we get this done? I set out how I asked her to do, would she do it like this? And she was like, absolutely. And I know from there she's gone on to change her coaching packages to doing what it is that I asked her to do. So I would, if you're struggling with commitment or moving forward on your property journey, get a coach, even if it's just to reach out initially to create a plan. But if you're not executing that plan, then I would 100% get one. And there's numerous out there. And I work as a coach. You're welcome to reach out to me. I do give away a free session every now and then. I'll make this one of those sessions. So if you comment favourably, you'll go in the draw to win a free coaching call with me. And what that will do, coaching just creates clarity, and it helps you design the plan. Because when you think, I want to be a property developer, or I want you to develop a property, however that is for you, maybe that's buy a piece of land, split it in two, put a duplex, whatever. Until it's clear, you don't know which step to take first. So by having some clarity around what you'd like, you'll actually go, oh, I need to do that. And I use that saying, when the pupil is ready, the teacher appears. And so right now you might be listening thinking, oh, she's right. You might be needing to reach out to a teacher, and maybe I've appeared for you, or somebody else has around you. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe that if this is a coincidence for you right now, well, then it's your time. And you need to make that decision, like, instead of talking yourself out of something. There is always reasons that you can't because, you're in lockdown and, there's not enough this and not enough that and not enough this and there's never any time and all those reasons you use. Whatever it is, if you want to make a change and you have been trying for a while and not done it, then hire somebody to help you. I, as a coach for my fitness and health, even though I'm a nutritionist and used to be a PT, I use a coach for my business. I don't need a coach for property because I've got Bob and now I am a property coach because I have enough experience and work with Google over my shoulder, as in Bob being Google. So if you're held up in that spot and you want to move forward, 100% go ahead and do it. So we've covered the first thing is education. You must get an education. You can't just winging it. It's too risky. Number 2, you need to commit to it. So you need to believe that you can and you need to plan what you want to do. And if you struggle with those two, then definitely I would recommend getting a coach. Once you've done that, your next step really, and these two go together, is your setup, which is your finances and stuff, and then your patch. So they work together because working on your setup, I'll go there first. It's about working out what you can afford. You might remember if you listen to episode 19, Bob and I talked about creative strategies. So if you don't have enough money to do a project yourself, but you do have education, then you can get other people to come in with you and do a project with you. So if you wanted to learn about that, jump back to last episode. But setting up your finances, as in going and finding how much a bank will lend you or a finance company will loan you, so you know what your I often say to people I'm working with, it's like going shopping. You need to know how much money you've got so you can, if you're buying shoe shopping or handbag shopping, how much have I got to spend? So you need to know what you've got. And then also with setup, because that'll often take longer than the average person thinks, because there's always tidying up last year's tax and, there's a lot of loose ends that have to happen if you're new to property development, just getting sorted financially, then go and find out how much you can borrow. And then the structure, that sort of starts happening around that time as well, because you need to set yourself up properly as a business, or if you're going to be selling or if you're going to be keeping, that needs to be set up properly. You don't want to buy it in your own name if you're going to be selling them just for tax purposes. So there's learning all that setup stuff that needs to happen for you to sort of start that property development journey. So once you've kind of got your finances sorted and know how much you can spend, whether you're going to be doing it yourself or whether you're going to be doing a creative strategy, then you need to pick your patch. And this is where things really start to happen, because when you've chosen your patch, it's the area that you're going to go shopping in. So you get to learn all about that, and it's vital that you know your patch inside out. And I can say, with the people I work with in the mentoring program, those that know their patch inside out are the people that get the deals the fastest. By being clear of where their patch is, they know all of the council laws and everything about that's what's required or what can be done in their patch. They know what else is going on there. They know what builders are doing work there. They know, the town planners. They know so much about their patch that when a property comes to the market, they don't spend a lot of time researching it, or they do, because they'll know straight away, yes, that fits everything that I need to do what I want to do. Because what can happen if you don't understand your patch and what can be done in your patch, or what things are selling for, well, especially if what could be done, you spend a lot of time working out and doing the due diligence and trying to get plans and sorting stuff out for that piece of land when it can't be done anyway. So by understanding what can be done in your patch, you save yourself a lot of time, and that's time that can right now be wasted on that you could be looking for other sites, because at the moment, being a seller's market, something comes on and it's selling pretty quickly. So you want to be quick to jump. And also, when you know what can be done in your patch, then you can work out whether something stacks up, that you can do your due diligence. You can do your due diligence properly, because often people will run the numbers, they'll do a 5-minute viso and they'll go, oh, that actually works. Then they'll do proper numbers. And if they understand their patch fully, then they will know that it will work. If you don't understand your patch fully, then you're likely to put in, inflated figures or, build costs that are wrong. Well, remember, build cost wherever you are. They're going to be the same if you're in, anywhere in Melbourne, they're going to be in the same. The build cost will be the same no matter where they are. So it's about the build cost, the construction costs, what you buy the land for, and then what you can sell your end product for. So by having a real in-depth knowledge of what's happening in your patch, then quickly that it's worth spending some time on. And that's the other thing. Knowing what things are selling for is one part of it, but knowing what people want in your patch. So if it's all duplexes, then they're wanting duplexes. If it's all apartments because they are a market where there's a lot of renters or something, or it's near a university, well, then that's what you need to be doing. So understanding your patch fully is really important. So then you'll know what you can put there. So I've covered, you need an education. That is vital. The next one is you need to, like I said, commit to what you're doing, and you need to believe that you can do something. So that means create a plan. What is it that you want to do? And if you're not working toward it, if you're going nowhere and it's been a while, then you must get a coach. Otherwise, you will blink and it'll be another year gone by, and then it'll be another year gone by, and you'll fail the porch test, which is, when you're sitting on your rocking chair, when you're retired, at the end of the day, you'll regret the thing that you never did. And so often we need help. The next one, number 3, there was patch and setup. There's a little bit intermingling there. I think I went to setup first. So knowing what you can go out and buy, knowing, for finance, knowing your financial situation. So you've got your taxes all sorted out, and then you know exactly what you can spend or borrow or loan or whatever it is however you like to say that, and then setting up your structure with a property accountant. I probably didn't allude to that as much. It is important that you use the right, you can, but Bob would advise that you use a property accountant to set up your structure. They don't necessarily have to do all your taxes, but someone who specialises in setting up that sort of thing. And then knowing your patch inside out. Now, what I haven't covered, which comes into the setup, and it alludes a little bit to the podcast that Bob and I did last week about creative strategies. If you are going to use a creative strategies, now, I'm just diving into a bit here that could be its own whole podcast, but your online presence. If you're going to be using a joint venture partner or a money partner for your development, you need to have an online presence, unless for some reason, like your job, say you're doing this as a part-time thing and your job doesn't allow it, and that would be okay, because you wouldn't have any online presence. But you need to be professional online. So you need to have maybe a Facebook page, maybe not, but you need to have a website, definitely, saying what you do. You need to have a decent LinkedIn profile that describes that you do, or that says that you do property development, unless, of course, your job doesn't allow that. So when I say a website, well, I mean, you need to set it up as a business, and the importance of a website is probably overlooked. I was thinking about it this morning, when I first started, when I moved from sort of more health and fitness coaching back in the day to business coaching, I was going to a lot of networking events, and people would often say, so what's your website? And you'd so often hear, and hands up, I was guilty as well, you would hear people say, it's still being made, because so often people don't sort of prioritize it. And on this day and age, when we don't necessarily get to network, or your joint venture partner might be in a different state to you, they need to be able to Google you and see who you are, and see that you are running this properly, and this is a business. So if you're thinking about seriously doing this, I would seriously look at getting a website. It's not that expensive these days. There are many ways to, you can use Upwork and stuff like that to get websites built, and there are plenty of people out there building them. But really just saying who you are and what you do, I would definitely recommend doing that. And then as far as the other thing that you need is your branding. Like, what name are you using? I don't do Hilary Saxton developments. You have the name that you do your developments under, like your business name. It's not an entity for tax purposes, so it just needs to have a business name that you will have to register. So, picking a business name, You can easily get a logo. I have a guy that does mine for like $20 on Upwork. It's nothing. So, or you can pay paid up to $500. It doesn't matter. It's your choice on how you'd like to do your branding. And so get your branding made, get a website made, and be the professional person that you are. Because if you think about it, I always say, I don't even go out for dinner without Googling the menu. So I'm barely going to loan somebody, $100, $200, $300, whatever, $100,000 if they sort of come across as a bit of a cowboy or cowgirl. You need to be professional, and people need to see that you are serious about what you do. So if you're looking at having a joint venture, then that would be the other part of the setup. So the setup would be finances, get them sorted, the structure, get it sorted, and get your online presence sorted. And all of those things generally take a bit longer than you think. So I often find when I'm working with people, be like, yeah, I'm just getting the taxes are almost done. I'm just waiting for this, and that time slowly creeps by. So when it comes to getting started and the 4 needs, one last time: education, commitment, which is create a plan, get a coach, find your patch, and set yourself up properly with finances, structures, and an online presence. Well, people, I hope you found that useful. Just a reminder that we have our half-day masterclass coming up on the 16th of October. So join us for that. That's free from 9:30 to 1:30. That's Sydney time. And then our 3-day online workshop, we are doing an online one this year on the 12th, 13th and 14th of November. If you'd like more information about that, there'll be, click the link below, or you're welcome to email me, hilary@propertymastermind.com.au, and that's Hilary with 1 L. Alrighty, I'll catch you next time. I hope you found that useful. Bye for now.